What is up YouTube? KM888 here, and today for you guys I have some more test videos. So I am going to power shuffle my deck again, and I'm going to do some test hands, and we're gonna see what we're going to find out. Now while I'm going to do my power shuffle, I'm going to do a little update to what kind of videos I'm going to start doing and what the channel is going to be about in a couple of weeks, months, I don't know. So yeah. First things first, I am of course going to update my builds every time that I see fit. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do an updated deck profile each and every time, but I will show you guys the changes during the test videos. Like, for example, if I would include another card in the deck, I will of course tell you guys so you know that it's changed, and that way you guys are still informed, so yeah. The second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to keep on doing the versus the meta test hands, like I did against the Sky Striker matchup. I'm also going to do that for a lot of other decks. I had some people asking about it, so yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. And I'm also going to do a video about Guard Dragon Pendulums, so I hope you guys will like that. It's gonna come up soon. And I'm gonna tell you why this build, the PK variant with the Kali Yuga, is still better than the Guard Dragon one, so yeah. First test hand, we have Dragon Pit Magician, Chronograph Sorcerer, Harmonizing, a Dragon Shrine, and we have the the Shade Brigandine. As I said before already, I do not mind having this in my hand, but it's literally a dead card. It's kind of sad to draw it, but yeah, that is what it is, so yeah, let's go for it. Dragon Shrine, and we're going to send the Dark Worm, and with it we're going to search the Gate 0. It's the standard combo to do, of course, so you add it. At this point, I already have my extender for to make a Rusty Bardish, so I'm just gonna go and use the Chronograph, pop it. I don't think I need the Bardish, it's just going to be an additional card, and this way you get some more pluses with the Chronograph, so yeah. So let's see where the Time Gazer is, there we go. And we're going to make Electromite. It does all stay very similar, very standard, I feel, so it's you try to accomplish the same thing over and over again. So you're going to use Electromite's effect, and since we're missing a low scale, we're definitely going to go for a low scale right here, and I do think that the Oath Dragon is always the best. I could go for Wisdom Eye, but if I haven't used Pendulum Call, so Wisdom Eye might actually be really good right here, so let's go Wisdom Eye. And now we're going to scale the Gate 0, use Electromite's effect, pop it, and get back the Wisdom. At this point, Electromite's effect, draw, and we already drew the Rank Up Magic Launch. It's actually 2 dead cards now, and since you drew both, you don't get any value out of Rusty Bardish, so we're going to see what we're going to do. First things first, I'm gonna scale the Wisdom Eye, I'm gonna scale the Dragon Pit, I'm gonna use the effect, I'm gonna add the Oath Dragon to our scales. Now, conform the usual, we want to Pendulum summon the Harmonizing and one other monster from our hand. So we're going to use the Oath Dragon right here, and we're going to add either the Time Gazer or the Wisdom Eye. I'm not really sure what would be the best, but I'm thinking the Wisdom Eye is definitely a contender here. So let's Pendulum summon. So we're going to summon the Gate 0. It's always a plus. We're going to summon the Dark Worm. I'm gonna summon the Harmonizing and the Wisdom Eye. At this point, Harmonizing's effect is going to trigger, and we're gonna go for the Janke Magician. Like, to be fair, when we're going to talk about the Guard Dragon build, this is actually the field you want to get to. It's fairly easy. You want to Pendulum summon 2 level 7s and a Dark Worm, but the only difference to this field would be that we'd switch around the Dark Worm and the Gate 0 so we can get our guard dragons in the right position. But right now, this is definitely the way to go, and yeah, we're gonna just try and do this. So conform the usual, overlay into absolute dragon. And we're gonna link it away. Now I do have to think, because we don't really have need for Rusty Bardish. So first things I'm gonna do is I'm going to overlay both my level 4s. Should I do this? I feel I don't have to do this. I'm going to activate my Shade Brigandine first. So flip it over, and I'm going to overlay straight with the Dark Worm, and I'm going to make an Abyss Dweller right here. Now at this point, link the Electromite with the Ab-Zero. I'm gonna make a Deco Talker, and I'm going to put Deco Talker in the other zone, because at this point the Absolute Dragon is going to trigger, and we're gonna get the Raging Dragon, which is always a fun thing to have. And at this point, just make a Savage Dragon. It's easy. We have an Electromite in the graveyard, so we're definitely gonna get our uses off of it. And we're gonna use the Savage Dragon's effect, equipping the Electromite. So it goes right here. I'm putting it here just in case of Mech Knights. They don't activate in a hand, so they can just spam on the board. Having it here instead of anywhere else is going to be good. We already have 2 spots for Mech Knight, so we don't want to give him 3, so yeah. And we're going to set 1 card as well. So this would be our end board. We have a pretty strong board even without going into our Rusty Bardish. And it's basically because we drew the PK cards already, so we don't mind drawing any of them. Like, as you've seen, we used the trap cards to go into Abyss Dweller, and we got to use the Rank Up Magic launch just for the fact that we don't have to go into Rusty Bardish. So I'm gonna put 2 counters on the Savage Dragon, and when their turn comes, you have enough cards to protect your Rank Up Magic and to protect your combo. Sadly, nothing to stop a Kaiju, nothing to stop Sphere Mode. It is something that could be worked on, but I don't feel that's a plus value to your deck. Like, you can go and make a entire combo where you go for Nightmare Mermaid, link it off, and go for to summon Ibli on your opponent's side so they can't Kaiju you. But I don't think that's actually worth it. You have to include like 2 or 3 more cards in your extra deck for that to work, and you also need to play the Ibli in your main deck, and it's just so much work, and keeping a card in hand, stuff like that. You'll need the pluses, and I don't think that is actually worth it. This field is definitely what you should be aiming for. If they're trying to Kaiju this, you at least have a Dweller to stop their plays. You still have your Savage Dragon, and you have a Deco Talker, so more than likely you're still going to get through the turn. And since you're having full scales, like next turn, you're going to draw. It's like a silent boost, but it doesn't matter. It's just another body to get on the board. Since you're getting Oath Dragon, you're going to be able to summon 4 monsters, and 4 monsters means a Borreload or a Borrel's sword. So you're always going to have the means for no TK next turn. So yeah, that's always fun. So let's hop into the second test hand. Like, as you've seen, like I opened with a brick and I drew a brick from the Electromite. The deck really doesn't care. If you draw any of the PK monsters there as well, that just becomes another body on board to make a Deco Talker. And to go further from that, you get your Surge that you want. So you don't really need to go into Rusty Bardish at all if you get the PK engine in your hand. So yeah, that's at least really good. So to continue on, second test hand, Gate 0, this is just terrible. And we already have the Rank Up Magic as well, oh my god. Just give me full scales right here. So, we're having these. That's actually a terrible terrible hand, so let's try and make this work, I guess. So, Foolish Burial. The thing is, you're gonna have to make Electromite before your summon, because you definitely need your scales up. So you have to go for Dark Worm. You don't get a Surge because you already drew both donuts. Normal summon the Harmonizing, and we're gonna go for Electromite. Now, at this point, we don't know what we're going to get ourselves into, like, really we don't. We are going to try and get the Harmonizing back to our hand, and we're going to, well, we're probably having to scale like this. This is what we're trying to get at this point, because we don't know what's going to happen. So the thing that we want to do is, because we still want to get our rank up magic going, is we're going to try and put a level 7 in the extra deck. So I'm going to put a Janke Magician there, just because of the fact that it can help. So Janke Magician as a level 7. Now at this point, putting the gate 0 in there, and you're going to pop it with Electromite, getting back the Harmonizing Magician. Now at this point, we're just going to hope that we draw any high scale, like a Chronograph would be awesome, Black Fang, maybe a Pendulum Call, something like that. So we're going to draw, and it's a Purple Poison Magician. Now Purple Poison isn't terrible, it's a low scale, but that does mean that we are going to have to do another kind of play. We're definitely going to scale our Harmonizing, and let's see, if we're scaling this, we can Pendulum summon a level 4 and a level 7. And if we're scaling this, we have to Pendulum summon the 2 7s. Now the only question is whether it's better to have the Purple Poison on the field or the Dark Worm. So I'm guessing it's better to have the Purple Poison on the field. So I'm going to scale the gate 0. Am I going to do that? Well, I doubt it actually matters, so I'm going to scale the Purple Poison. Next up, Pendulum Summon. So I'm going to summon a gate 0 here. I'm going to summon a Janke Magician and the Dark Worm. Other way around. At this point, overlay into Absolute. And at this point, I will have to be using my Electromite for the Underclock. It's something we're gonna have to do. Absolute's effect. And we're summoning the Raging Dragon. Now at this point, I am going to make a Rusty, but only because of the fact that it's going to net us, well, it's actually not going to net us anything, so instead of going, let's see, instead of going for the Underclock Taker, I'm gonna go for a Deco Talker, so let's see, we have the Deco Talker, and we have the Raging Dragon. At this point, just set the rank up magic, and it's a terrible field for us. It's kind of a brick this way, but like the hand was terrible, you've all seen that. But we still have Kali Yuga, so that means that in this case, since you can protect it with the Deco Talker, it's not that much different from a regular hand, so yeah. Now, this video was only 2 test hands, I realize, but I am going to cut it off here. I'm going to make some other videos as well, and I'm gonna try to have some more to upload the next coming days. So see you guys in the next video. Ciao.